Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It is Monday, August 17th, 2015. The big news story today is an explosion at a Hindu shrine in Bangkok, Thailand. This explosion comes just 8 days after the Hindu goddess Kali was projected on the Empire State Building. It also comes just days after the Tianjin, China massive explosion that's still a big story in the mainstream. Let's begin by watching this CNN news coverage of the incident, and then we will talk about all the important coding within this story and what it might be part of. All right, Truth Seeker, here we go.
Take a look at the brand new video caught on a dash camera inside a car and listen as that bomb goes off. So you can see that flash of the blast, sparks flying. A witness inside the car was not injured, but look at some surveillance video that captures that same moment from a street angle. Again, you can see in the flash, bright orange. Chaotic scene follows that, people running down the sidewalk. Police say at least 18 people were killed, including some Chinese tourists. More than 100 others are injured. And this bomb went off in the heart of Bangkok, near a very popular Hindu shrine during rush hour. Let's bring in CNN's Sima Mohsin. And Sima, the timing and location here are key.
Absolutely. As you just mentioned there, Anna, this is in the heart of Bangkok. It's at an intersection that's incredibly popular amongst locals and tourists. The shrine itself is hugely popular. Now, you mentioned there it is a Hindu shrine, but Buddhists, Sikh members and Hindu members of Bangkok's considerable Indian community go there to worship. And of course, 7 o'clock in the evening, people are heading home from work. They want to go and pay their respects at the shrine. They bring flowers, incense sticks. It is, of course, the end of the summer holidays as well, and people take their families there. This is a popular location for people coming from all over the world as well, a major tourist hotspot, Anna.
Just want to pause real quick, Truth Seeker. They just changed the wording down here to body parts everywhere. Even prior to them putting up that headline, the explosion was already reminding me of the Boston Marathon bombing. I'm sure that's true for a lot of other people. And if you can recall, in the hours after that explosion happened, before they put out the imagery, there were headlines saying body parts everywhere. Body parts all over the streets of Boston. Legs, arms. Very descriptive, very disgusting. And then the imagery came out, and anybody who was paying attention noticed that none of that was true. We had been hoaxed. This is part of the reason they do these ongoing stories. They're all psychological reminders, but they're also part of the narrative of what is to come. Let's move on.
Who or what are behind it? Are investigators saying this is terrorism?
They're certainly calling it a...
Before we hear her response, Truth Seeker, I want to let you know that this shrine was attacked in March on the 21st, 2006. And in that reporting, it wasn't a bombing then. It was just a man with a hammer who damaged the shrine and the statue greatly and then was supposedly killed by the local residents in retaliation. But that attack, they said the man had Arabic tattoos on his body, hinting at Islam, as they so often like to do in these hoaxes. Remember the Boston Marathon bombing? They blamed it on these two boys, all coded with the same numbers. All signs of the hoax. And always trying to connect back to Islam, which they might eventually do with this here.
Terrorist attack, but who is behind it, they simply don't know. They said they don't want to speculate so early on. We've seen a number of attacks in Bangkok over the years, but of course...
One more pause, Truth Seeker. Times Square of Thailand, instead of writing Times Square, the reason it might say Times Square of Thailand is because the gematria of this is 93, a very important number to New York, and also pertinent to the current Prime Minister of Thailand, which we'll talk about, and also very important to the Masonic Zionists who are behind all these coded hoaxes. Times Square of Thailand, 93. No accident, truth seeker. And remember, Cali was just projected in New York on the Empire State Building, Empire having that gematria of 39, the reflection of 93. Another important number to New York.
That's when the military stepped in. Last year we had those anti-government protests there. I was there covering those. And this was all around this area, Anna. It was on lockdown by thousands of protesters, but the shrine was never targeted. And then, of course, the military stepped in a coup in May last year, and we've had a major security presence since then. Nothing major since a couple of grenade attacks last summer. We did see a pipe bomb in January this year, and people are saying that was a warning shot that things may escalate, and today that's what we've seen in the heart of Bangkok.
Pipe bombs. I haven't heard about those since the Atlanta Olympics. Anyhow, let's go through this. Let's decode it. Let's see how it all connects. Starting with CNN's front page headline, Deadly Blast in Bangkok. This happened at the Erawan Shrine, which has gematria of 63 and 72. Deadly Blast in Bangkok also has that gematria of 72, and with the S exception, 81. 72, Deadly Blast in Bangkok, 72, Erawan Shrine. They love to do this with headlines. Notice the phrase Deadly Blast has Pythagorean gematria of 33, with the S exception 42. In Bangkok has gematria of 39, and as we'll see, 33 and 39 are very important numbers to Thailand, and of course highly important to the Zionists. Think about 39 books in the Old Testament. The first book is Genesis, which has a gematria of 33. Important to Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, and pretty much all the major spiritualities of the world. So here's what's interesting, truth seeker. This shrine was enshrined November 9th, 1956, meaning it will turn 59 on November 9th, meaning it's currently 58 years old in some months. We're talking a lot about how 58 is being coded into media stories right now. The location, Bangkok, Thailand, has gematria of 58. I don't think this is a coincidence. In the reporting we just said, they said the timing was paramount. I think this is part of that timing, even though that's not what the media is referring to. For whatever reason, we're in the time of 5885 right now. Here it is again, Bangkok, Thailand. Today, the date of this incident has a life lesson number of 33. The way you calculate your life lesson number is you add the month plus the day, and then you take the numerology of the year and you add that. So 8 plus 17 plus 2015 breaks down to 8. So 8 plus 17 plus 8 equals 33. Life lesson number of 33 in regards to this explosion in Thailand, when Thailand and Hinduism have much to do with 33. Notice that Thailand changed its name from Siam to Thailand on a date with 33 numerology, June 23rd, 1939. And notice further that Thailand has Pythagorean gematria of 33. A very important number to the Freemasons, who I am asserting are responsible for this. The Freemasons are an international gang. If you're new to my work, what I do is I expose the old world order, which is what we live in and will forever live in until we break it. When people say the new world order is coming, that's part of the lie, that's part of the deception, that's part of the confusion. People such as Alex Jones promote this. Alex Jones are agents for the gang of Masonic Zionists ruling over us. The old world order encompasses all corners of the globe. Asia, Europe, Americas, Russia, they're all part of the gang. The world powers are in bed together. The news we get with the divisions and the rivalries, that's just all part of the agenda of enslaving the people of this globe, which we mostly all are, some worse than others. Anyhow, the evidence are in these headlines. Look here, The Guardian says, inside Erawan Shrine, with this emphasis. Inside Erawan Shrine has gematria of 96. Very important number to the Freemasons. Freemason equals 96. Freemasons are Satanists in disguise. Don't take my word for it. Look up the many Freemasons who've left Freemasonry and exposed this. Also, Freemasons pride themselves on being the keepers of knowledge. Notice how Freemasons, Satanism, and knowledge all sum to 96. This headline also has coded gematria of 105. Zionism and Masonry both sum to 105. These are the agents who run our media, who run our governments, who wage these false terrorist attacks against us, and then create policy based on their own madness. The Masons believe in dividing through conquering, and that's what they do with each one of these events. Also, gematria of 114 here. 114 is an interesting number. It's very special in the Quran. Notice this reporting says that 19 were killed. 19 is arguably the most important number in the Quran. 19 times 6 is 114, the number of books in the Quran. They'll likely end up blaming this on Islam, as they did for the last attack on this shrine. We're living in the time of the 114th Congress, and this number is often closely associated with death and its reflection 411. With regards to 96 and 411, JFK was assassinated from 411 Elm Street. The word assassin equals 411 in Jewish gematria. JFK was shot 11/22/63, a date with 96 numerology. The name Kennedy, gematria of 33. We find these numbers coded over and over and over in events that are used to shape and mold society, culture. Notice Thailand has a flag that's very reminiscent of the UK's, of the United States, these nations that love to code these Masonic numbers. As mentioned in the video, Thailand went into martial law last year on May 20th, 2014, 13 days after the ouster of their female prime minister on May 7th. The martial law started on the date of May 20th, 14, a date with 39 numerology. Remember, Thailand changed its name in 39. The prime minister, the woman kicked out, is Yingluck Shinawatra. Yingluck has gematria of 39. Shinawatra has gematria of 42. The word female in simple English gematria is 42. In Jewish gematria, it's 67, and she was born in the year 67 on the date of June 21st, 1967. Right now, there's all these articles about how Hillary Clinton is the perfect age to run for president as a woman, and she's 67 years old. International Women's Day is on March 8th, the 67th day of the year. On May 7th of this year, a year after she was ousted, there was the youngest woman elected in UK history since the year 1667. And notice this woman also has a life number connection to 113, very important number to the Masons, as is 32. The ranging degrees of Scottish Rite Freemasonry are 31, 32, 33. If you add those three numbers together, 31 plus 32 plus 33, totals 96 like Freemason. She was the 28th Prime Minister, one of the numbers connected to God, as is 33. Talked about that in my video, Decoding God. She was replaced during the time of martial law by the 29th Prime Minister, who has quite a name, interesting gematria. He has life numbers of 93, very important number to the Zionists, the Masons, as well as 74. The abbreviation PM for Prime Minister, which he is, breaks down to 74. P's the 16th letter. 1 plus 6 equals 7. M's the 13th letter. 1 plus 3 is 4. PM, 7-4. Just like his life number of January 25th, 48. These world leaders commonly have the same life numbers, the numbers of great importance to the Masons, to the Zionists. All right, so let's transition here for a brief second back to that projection of Cali on the Empire State Building. This happened August 9th, the day that leaves 144 days in the year. In Jewish gematria, the word time equals 144. Gali is the goddess of time, change, destruction. Here, 8 days later, destruction in Bangkok, Thailand, at a Hindu shrine. So, here's what I want you to know. This text, very important, to Hinduism, the Rig Veda. Correct me if I'm saying that wrong. Anyhow, it has Pythagorean gematria of 39 and simple English gematria of 66. The Bible, the Old Testament, is of 39 books. The complete Bible is of 66 books, 27 in the New Testament, 39, 66. Very important numbers to New York, where Kali, the goddess, was projected on the Empire State Building. New York is the 11th state. If you sum 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to 11, it totals 66. New York in Pythagorean gematria equals 39. NY, the abbreviation in simple English gematria, equals 39. New York's establishment date, July 26th, 1788, has a numerology of 39. The United Nations in New York is 39 floors tall. The word empire has gematria of 39. The New York Times equals 93, the reflection of 39. One World Trade Center equals 93, the reflection of 39. It replaced the World Trade Centers that were bombed in 93. And on the day of, the first flight to hit those giant buildings that look like huge 11s in the 11th state were hit by Flight 11, floors 93 to 99. Later that day, there was Flight 93 of 33 passengers crashing in the Keystone State, which has gematria of 33. My point is these numbers are super important to Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and here's Hinduism, which is much older than all of these religions. And here's the numbers in Hinduism. No matter what your spiritual belief is, this should give you pause and make you think. So many Christians are so arrogant to say that they have ownership over God. Their religion's the truth. If you deny Jesus, you know no truth. Here's what I'm showing. Something I've suspected since I was a child. That we've all been lied to. That we've all been deceived. That we've all been divided for no good reason. And somewhere out there the truth exists, which is the path I pursue, and why I show these undeniable truths. How these same numbers are coded over and over and over again, and they have great spiritual significance, they have great scientific significance, they have great mathematical significance, they're coded in geography, and as I'm showing, they're coded into the stories routinely presented to us. Here, this text with the 3966 gematria. The Rig Veda is a collection of Vedic Sanskrit hymns counted among the four Hindu religious texts known as the Vedas. The Vedas. The Rig Veda was likely composed between roughly 1700 and 1100 BC, long before Jesus, making it one of the oldest texts of any Indo-Iranian language, one of the world's oldest religious texts. Long before Muhammad, too. Remember, Jesus and Muhammad both summed to 74. Christian equals 47. It's the 47th book of the Quran that first uses the name Muhammad. Cross equals 74. Messiah equals 74. Pinnacle equals 74. Gospel equals 74. These numbers over and over and over. True Seeker, this shrine, with it being established on November 9th, 1956, that date of 119 reminds me a lot of the Star of David, the six-sided star, the flag of Israel. What I am saying, what I am asserting is these Masonic Zionists, these false Jews, are going through this world and waging these mental warfare by instigating these events and by instigating them according to the numbers they most definitely worship, but also numbers that are significant to us all, whether we realize it or not. (1956) November 9th. Date in history that the Berlin Wall fell. A number that reminds us of September 11th, which also happened in New York. That happened on the Coptic calendar New Year. New Year's Day on the Coptic calendar is September 11th. It'll be that way through the year 2098 because it's a floating calendar. Again, the last time this shrine was vandalized was March 21st, 2006. That's one of the high holy days of the Satanists around this time of the spring equinox. The man who vandalized it was a 27-year-old. Some of the reporting today says that 27 people were killed. I've seen 18, 19, and 27 reported so far. But anyway, look at his name gematria, 39. Where have we seen this? In simple English gematria, 102, a number that's very important to United States of America. That CNN video we watched was 2 minutes, 28 seconds in length. Just makes me wonder, because 228 is another number connected to United States of America. This could be signs of who had a hand in these incidents. This man's name in Pythagorean gematria who damaged the shrine March 21st, 2006 equals 79. The word of murder. He was murdered for his actions, according to the story. And his name in simple English gematria sums to 187, which is the homicide code for police, 187. Not long after this, on March 22nd, there was a public outcry, a public rally the next day. Of course, 322 is associated with Yale Skull and Bones. It's also a number that references the synagogue of Satan, who are referenced in the 66th book of the Bible, Revelation. This public outcry, rally, protest on these dates, on these numbers, in response to these events that are all by the numbers, if you follow me. And also, just one little point, we were watching that reporting earlier, and they had this woman on there named Sema Mosin. It's interesting because Thailand used to be called Siam, a lot like this name. But look at her name gematria. First name breaks down to 16 and 25. Last name breaks down to 33 and 42. And of course, we're talking about all the 33 relating to Thailand, 33 relating to this event. Remember, it happened today on a date with a life lesson number of 33. Her name in gematria also has a connection to 67. Again, female equals 67 in Jewish gematria. Talked about how the last female PM of Thailand had a connection to that number. But yeah, something about this Kali projection and then this happening 8 days later. I think it's no coincidence. I think we'll see more related events. Again, Goddess of Time. This happened on August 9th, the day that leaves 144 days left in the year. In Jewish gematria, the word time equals 144. Just show you this real quick, Truth Seeker. All by design. All by design, Truth Seeker. So that's pretty much the message, you know. The people responsible for this, no matter who they blame, are the same people who are responsible for September 11th, Boston Marathon bombing, and all the other hoaxes, false flags, whatever you want to call them, that we get through this mainstream media. Because it too is controlled by them worldwide. Got to expose this international gang. We need to oust them from every corner of the globe. And we need to do it ASAP, Truth Seeker. All right, until next time.